Urban Legends. That's it. I couldn't come up with a tagline for this one. Hello everyone, my name is Zero, and you're watching The Lost Perspective. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, as it does help out a lot. And if you'd like to see more Let's Talk Warbonds, go ahead and subscribe, as it will be covering all Warbonds, past, present, and future. I also made a playlist of all the existing videos. It will be linked in the description. With the YouTuber stuff out of the way, let's get it. On page 1, we have Armor, Helmet, Cape, Player Card, 100 Super Credits, a Hellpod pattern, and a new Stratagem. And for the first time ever in a Warbond, a melee weapon. I forget if the Stun Baton came out before this, but that was in the Superstore. The SR-24 Street Scout is a light armor with the Siege Ready passive, which increases reload speed of primary weapons by 30% and increases ammo capacity of primary weapons by 20%. This is your total ammo, not your magazine capacity, and it is worth noting that it's not just primary weapons that gain the benefit of the increased ammo. Secondary weapons and certain support weapons such as the machine guns and railgun, possibly others that I'm unaware of, also gain the increased total ammo effect. I think Siege Ready is pretty awesome, but I love anything that increases reload speed. And the armor itself looks quite nice with the camo pattern, and the helmet is sticking with the scout vibe. Great cloak of Rebar, Resolve, Cape, and Player Card. Pretty cool name. They match the armor well enough, but I don't have much else to say here. The Concrete Jungle Hellpod pattern. The SH-51 Directional Shield. A one-handed device that deploys a wide energy barrier in front of the user. This barrier blocks high-speed projectiles from the outside only, leaving the user to shoot through it with any one-handed weapon they have on them. So that's all secondary weapons, and most of the SMGs, with the exception of the Reprimand, are usable with the directional shield. It is wide enough to easily fit 3 people behind it, and will also activate when throwing grenades or stratagems. Easy to use, hard to master. The directional shield can be a boon to any team with proper communication. The only downside to it that I can see is that it cannot be used while holding an objective such as an SSD or black box. Other than that, it's great. Also, you can get it to work while you're in the FRV. It can be a bit finicky at times though. The CQC-19 Stun Lance is a melee weapon tipped with electrified prongs that temporarily stun targets. Can be wielded one-handed. Now, when I first saw this thing, I completely underestimated it, thinking to myself, what good is a melee weapon in a game with this many melee enemies? Oh, how I quickly learned just how amazing this thing is. When I realized you could stun and completely immobilize a Hulk and just poke it until it explodes, I was flabbergasted. Got a charger giving you grief? Just poke it in the butt until you explode. I mean, it explodes, what? So, I'm not very good with this thing anymore, as I'm really out of practice, but you need to try this thing if you haven't already. It can be a lot of fun. On page 2, we have Armor, Helmet, Cape, Player Card, 100 Super Credits, Shuttle Pattern, new Booster, and a new Stratagem. The SR-18 Roadblock is a heavy armor, again with the Siege Ready armor passive, so if you prefer something a bit beefier, the Roadblock is for you. And I really like the helmet it comes with. It's got that slick blue visor and the mohawk thing, kind of like the Spartans had on their helmets. The holder of the yellow line, Cape, and Player Card. The Player Card looks quite nice. And the Cape, have you ever seen 2 bears high-fiving? Because this looks like 2 clone troopers from Star Wars headbutting or maybe having a staring contest. The Concrete Jungle Shuttle Pattern. The Armed Resupply Pods booster mount a modified AR-23 Liberator to all resupply pods, allowing them to double as automatic turrets. These turrets do not last very long, but it should be long enough for you to resupply and keep you covered while you do so. The real question is this worthy of taking up a booster slot? I'll leave that up to you. The Flame Sentry is exactly what it sounds like. You know why I like this thing? Because unlike other sentries, when it gets destroyed, it doesn't simply go away. It explodes, leaving behind a little extra fire to burn those who destroyed it, making it extra effective against the bugs and Illuminate. Now, being a flamethrower, it does have a little less range than, say, the machine gun or the Gatling, but I think it's still useful enough. Let me know what you guys think. On page 3, we have 100 Super Credits, Emote, Title, Exosuit Pattern, the first ever FRV pattern, and a new Stratagem. Here is the Super Pedestrian title, the Exosuit and FRV patterns, This is Democracy is my favorite emote, not because of the sound it makes when it connects. The absolute chaos you can get into with your friends. This is not cosmetic. You really can kick them over in game. It's hilarious. It can also help you get unstuck should you drop on something's head and get stuck underneath its body. And finally, the anti-tank emplacement. These things can absolutely trivialize defense missions. It shoots down both bot dropships and Illuminate warships in just 3 hits. Not to mention Illuminate harvesters, bot factory striders, bile titans, you name it, this thing takes it down in 4 hits or less. And did I mention these things drop in with 30 shells? Even someone who bought the game yesterday could use these effectively. They are as noob friendly as they are powerful. I cannot recommend this stratagem enough. I would say this alone makes the entire Warbond worth the cost, which is not to downplay the usefulness of the other items on offer. Pretty much everything here is good. And that's Urban Legends. If you are still here, thank you so much for watching the entire video, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like. And if you want to see more Helldivers 2 as well as other gaming content, go ahead and subscribe. You folks have yourselves a great day, and remember always, democracy protects.